Get your VIP tickets before they're gone. Check steinsvines.com for all the details. Must be 21.
News, weather, sports, and more. It's Drive Time Live with Mark Hahn on KXCJ.
All right, it is my time to say hello again to David Rosler. David is, a movie producer, a director. You've done a lot of commercial work as well. You do things for planetariums, which I thought was really cool. You are a 3D genius.
Well, you know, how much do I owe you for that lead-in?
Oh, you'll get my bill in the mail. Don't worry about it.
Okay,
just
good.
keep watching for it. So how's life treating you, David? I see that the folks at Facebook and Twitter aren't tweeting you any better, no pun intended, here. You know, it's a constant battle with you, and I don't understand. This is something that should be open to the public. I mean, unless you're peddling pornography or drugs or something else, why not let you have your say-so, especially about your movie?
You know, you could ask me, but you could also ask the NRB, the National Religious Broadcasters Association. You could ask the current chairman of the FCC, who they both called out Facebook, Google, and Twitter for censoring Christian voices. This is apparently an epidemic on the Internet, a true epidemic. I mean, when you get the chairman of the FCC saying it, when you get an organization, and I mean, just a recent article from Pam Geller, and it was some group that had 250,000 members. They got their group wiped out off of Facebook. It's a purging of some sort. I mean, I hate to be hyperbolic about it, but it reminds me of what the Nazis did to the Jews before the concentration camps. You know, it's censorship, it's defamation, it's gross characterizations. It's the exact same kind of thing, only it's happening to devout Christians today in the United States. You would think that people would like Orbiter, and people by and large do love Orbiter. And I mean, I'm thrilled with the responses that I mean, how would you describe Orbiter? You've seen the trailer and everything. How would you describe it?
I think it's a great movie. It's to use the phrase here, Orbiter, live action, 3D stereoscopic, and you and I talked about that last time I had you on the air with me. But it's a Christian-themed science fiction movie for theaters. Now, it's amazing why they keep doing this. Is there any rhyme or reason to this? I've talked to Pam Geller before. I've had her on my show as well. But, your reference to Pam Geller and the work that she does, especially about, with the Draw Muhammad that she had done, and she's trying to bring to light these really bad segments of society around the world, let alone here. Why do we even have this in our own backyard, people like this that are censoring? Why censor Christianity?
Well, I think the problem, I think, lies in the culture of Silicon Valley. If you've ever spent much time in San Francisco, and I know I'm not going to make a lot of friends with this one, but the place is essentially a sanitarium. It's basically a lunatic asylum. You have all these people who were at Haight-Ashbury dropping acid, and then they wound up being in charge of the city, and then they had kids, and their kids have kids, and they live in a societal bubble, and they never question their extremist points of view. They simply have come to the conclusion that they're superior to everyone else, and anytime they see a difference of opinion, it seems to only, in their minds, qualify their sense of superiority. I've got friends. I've done a lot of business in the San Francisco Bay Area. I've got friends there who are very devout and very conservative, and I ask them, I say, how can you stand it? You're living in a madhouse. And 201, they always say something along the lines of, it's really very difficult.
Well, I can imagine.
And if I can interrupt, if you want to know just how bad it is, after not having been on Facebook for 16 hours, okay, I go on Christmas Eve, I post a piece of artwork that says, from the cast and crew of Orbiter, we wish you and yours a Merry Christmas. posted it on my own thread twice, and they deleted my Facebook account for breaking the rules of terms of service. I don't have my personal Facebook account anymore. They wiped it out. I swear.
Just because you had said Merry Christmas?
Well, I only posted one thing. And they took me off, and they said, we've deleted your account because you're in violation of terms of service. And I hadn't been on for 16 hours. It was the only thing that I did.
That's rather hypocritical, don't you think? I mean, I've seen far worse in Facebook and far worse in Twitter. Those kind of, it's hypocrisy.
Far worse than Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Jesus Christ, as we know, was the Prince of Peace. I mean, you can't get any more benign than Merry Christmas, and they hate it.
Well,
that's because it's their culture.
No, there's been that move that's been going on for a long time, and it's not even political correctness. It's a definite targeting of anything that is Christian related. And here comes President Trump again this year. Now he said, "I want to make sure that each and every one of you have a very Merry," and he makes a point of saying Merry Christmas. Well, your friends over there in San Francisco must have been pulling their hair out.
Well, you know what they do is they kind of huddle together with groups and organizations, and they basically take solace in each other's company. It's a terrible situation for those people. San Francisco's a madhouse, and if you don't know, Twitter is run. Are you ready for this? I don't know if you know this. Pardon me, I have a bit of a cold. Have you ever heard of someone named Del Harvey?
I've heard the name before, but I can't place it.
She has been for 10 years, virtually since its inception, in charge of Twitter trust and safety. She never went to college, and she has one job on her resume before Twitter, just one. She was volunteering her services with a trolling group called Perverted Justice, which started out being lauded for going after pedophiles on the internet, and then it turned out, from people who had been with them, from NBC producers who called them out, basically it was a trolling operation, and they were just going after pedophiles to satiate their impulses to sadistically destroy other human beings. Wow. She is the one who's supposed to make sure. She has no experience in anything. She has no job resume at all, and yet she's sitting there, and the guy that she used to work under, Xavier von Erck. All these people changed their names, by the way. Del Harvey's name is really Allison Shea. Xavier von Erck's name is Philip John Idy, although I think he legally changed it to Xavier von Erck. All of these people, it's like a cult at Perverted Justice. And Xavier von Erck changed his Perverted Justice Foundation corporate status from Oregon to California the same year Del Harvey started working at Twitter, and his legal representation is a place called Corpgate, which is a 1-hour drive door-to-door from Corpgate to Twitter. So I have come to the conclusion, and others have too, that Twitter was basically established to be a politically motivated trolling operation disguised as a social media site. Because why would you hire Del Harvey to do anything there unless her job was to troll people? It's all she had ever done in her whole life. She has no resume at all. No college, no nothing. It's unbelievable. And nobody talks about it.
For all your friends that you have, and all the people that you've known through business and your work in commercial work and and movies, and can they not put together a Christian-oriented website where you can get out news like this instead of relying on Facebook or Twitter?
I don't know how you would drive traffic there, because everybody's on Facebook and Twitter. So they're virtually monopolies. You've got long-form and short-form blogging, micro-blogging, and then you've got, I guess you could say that Facebook is sort of like macro-blogging, and they're basically the go-to places. You could set up a site, But, I don't know how you would drive the traffic there.
Advertise on Twitter and Facebook. Advertise on Twitter and Facebook, just like NBC or some other the liberal organizations will advertise on Fox.
Well, yeah, but the trouble is, no one will see you.
No, they'll block it.
You're going to be... No, it wasn't just a matter they took my Facebook page down. They were censoring our Facebook pages. We put ads, so to speak, invitations in Christian groups. Come and look at Orbiter and all this stuff. This is all... We've got a new page on orbitermovie.com where your people, all your listeners can go and they can see all of this stuff documented. If they really want to get into the dark side of the internet, it's there because we've documented it. You would look at the Facebook page, posts above one of our posts and below it. And some of these groups have as many as 500,000 participants, 500,000 members. So you would see all these posts that would, just little things, maybe a little biblical quote, something, maybe some attractive art, maybe some stuff that wasn't so attractive. They get 50, 100, 200, 300 likes, few dozen shares, Guess what? Right in the middle of these streams, one after another, one group after another, you go to Orbiter, absolutely nothing.
Well, they use bots, too.
Zero.
They use these bots that will take care of that. I mean, it's not even real people. It's just somebody who has the smarts, I guess, to initiate these bots that will overwhelm people.
I think that the likes and the shares are legitimate, and I think that we've been heavily targeted. We're now pretty sure that there are spiders and redirects taking people away from our crowdfunding site, because the last time I was on your show that week, Kathy had booked me on 7 shows. I was on 7 shows in 1 week. We had 6,000 additional views that week coming basically, the stats show it's coming basically exclusively from the radio.
Well, David...
Not one person is shown to have donated. Not one. And if you go to the Facebook page, the Facebook description page that we have on orbitermovie.com about how Facebook is censoring, you can see that the most esoteric things on crowdfunders, on the same crowdfunders, get tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands. Save the Liberian chimps, almost over a quarter of a million people. Somebody gets shamed because they somebody took a picture of them dancing and they laughed at them. They raised $40,000 to give them a party. A girl wanted to save a pig who was going to be raffled off $5,000 to buy the pig. People are giving. And we all agree now, everyone involved in the entire situation with Orbiter, we're all on the same page. Nobody doubts it. It is statistically, in fact, our science guy ran the stats, and he said it was like something to the 10th power, that you could have that many people coming in from a radio show where, 7 radio shows, where the hosts like yourself were very positive about Orbiter and not get anything.
David Rosler, my guest here. And David, we're out of time right now. But I do want to mention that I have the website pulled up here. It's orbitermovie.com. And you can find out more about the movie, about the space station. It's just orbitermovie.com. And you're going to find more about what David and I were talking about. And also a little bit more about the inducement, about donations, too, because you'll be part of the credits at the end, too. David, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Happy New Year. Hopefully things will turn around, but I tell you what, the forces that are out there, the dark forces that are out there, they have ways to try to overcome. But just let the light shine on them. That's all I got to say.
We're not going to give up. We're going to get to the end of it.
I hear you, David Rosler.
There's no way they're going to stop it.
David Rosler, my guest here on Drive Time Live. David, thank you very much. Happy New Year, and keep us updated on what's going on.
You bet. Thanks for having me back.
The skills you can develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard